right, that's it for us here on Good Day Chicago, everybody. But stay right where you are. Chicago Now starts next.
Chicago Now. Can I tell you guys something? Breaking news, Anthony went to the Indiana game yesterday.
No, I didn't.
He spent $35,000 on tickets for 3 people.
4,000. They actually flashed a stat during the game yesterday that the average ticket price was over $4,000.
Yes, that is unbelievable.
I'm glad we went down for the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, so I at least got to see this playoff run in person without completely obliterating our savings account.
You will never forget this year for this
never
team. That's very
It's still sinking in. And when I say, so yeah, I'm class of 2000. For those unfamiliar, IU class of 2000. My dad,
2008.
Both my parents went there. Both my grandparents went there. My brother went there. My sister went there. We are a complete IU family.
Okay.
And we just bleed
red and white.
Cream and crimson.
Sure.
And when I paused this morning, actually, I woke up in the middle of the night and had to be like, wait, no, it wasn't a dream.
Wait,
it wasn't a dream, yeah. I woke up at about 2 a.m.
You are kidding me.
And I joy scroll. There's doom scroll. What's the opposite of doom scrolling? Is it joy scrolling, happy scrolling?
I don't know.
So the game ended. I had to be up early for this shift, but I just kept scrolling because I wanted to read all the things. And pausing today just to think, 16-0, the Heisman Trophy winner, a perfect season, the dramatic touchdown yesterday that Mendoza had, it's already being called like the leap or the dive. It's just an instant classic. And the way that Curt Cignetti has just completely turned around this team, the whole country was, outside of Miami, was rooting for Indiana yesterday. This is up until this year, the losingest football program in the history of the country.
Yeah, and it just goes to show what a difference a coach can make.
A coach can make.
We had a best of yesterday for Chicago Now, and my mom, after the show, was like, I'm kind of glad that you guys didn't have Chicago Now because I was worried about Anthony after that Bears loss. But hey, you've got the Indiana
Oh my gosh,
win, so
yeah.
cruising high.
It would have, exactly. It would have been, gosh, if both the Bears, it does. It really does. I know. I'm still mourning, although, listen.
Great season.
Great season for the Bears. It took me, some time to kind of accept the loss, but then just immediately switch to, boy, this team has made progress over a single season, too. And we hope that place right there, it's a tundra right now. Look at, that is just a frozen, solid facility right there. Not a happy picture.
No one's driving around.
It's brutal outside, but it was so great. To put a cap on this, my dad came over last night to watch the game with me and Theo. It was a low-key thing, but we were hugging each other, trying not to be too loud because the 4-year-old had just gone to bed, and it was just amazing. We'll remember it always.
Yeah, what a great thing. And as you mentioned, you got to go to the game.
Yeah.
With your dad and your son.
Yeah,
and you're never forgetting the national champions.
I held my grandfather up there, and he's the one who was too nervous to watch games live. He would always record them. But I know that he's looking down on the Hoosiers and thrilled as well. So congrats to the entire team. And what a likable group of guys. It's impossible. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback, is just, he's one of those people where, in my view, you see one interview with him and you're like, oh my gosh. You would have to be there's something wrong with you if you don't like this guy.
The quarterback for LA, after the game, I was watching the
Matthew Stafford?
Oh, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, Matthew Stafford's. He used to play for Detroit, right?
Yeah,
nice guy.
Really good guy. Yeah.
And then also, who was the other team? Oh, who beat the Bills?
Oh, let's see. Who beat the Bills?
Do you guys know, football fans back there?
I'm blanking because there's so many games going on.
But I was watching the after show, and it was one of those. Sorry, what? Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos. Oh, Bo Nix.
Yes,
didn't their quarterback get injured? Yeah.
Well, after the game, because my husband's a big Bills fan, and I was like, ooh, those Broncos. So I was trying to not like them, right?
Yeah.
So then after the game, the interview comes up with the quarterback. He is the nicest guy.
Bo Nix, right?
You could ever imagine. He's like, you know, we faced a good football team tonight, and like that's the first thing that he says, and you can tell, oh, because Buffalo Bills quarterback,
Yeah, Josh Allen
got so emotional.
He did, yeah.
And it broke my little heart for him. But after the game ended, when the quarterbacks kind of exchanged, you know, pleasantries, I could see that the quarterback was saying, the Broncos quarterback was saying something to Josh, probably trying to make him feel better. And then afterwards, the interview, the post-game interview with that quarterback, he was just saying how good the Bills are and how he was thankful for you know, everything.
Just gracious in victory.
I was like, all right, fine.
You love to see it.
I like you too.
Hey, I don't mind seeing tears out of Josh Allen. He felt like he let his teammates down, that kind of thing, and those are difficult emotions. You know, right after the game. By the way, Fernando Mendoza choked up a little bit too when he was done with his interview, his post-game interview last night. When he was saying go Hoosiers and like he just
because it's the end of his.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's projected to go #1 in the NFL draft. He under that scenario, he would go to the Raiders.
Yeah. Which
would be an interesting matchup. Like Raiders have this, I don't know, I guess it's left over from the John Madden era, kind of a bad boy image. Oh. You know what I'm saying? They've had a dramatic history, to say the least. But yeah, Fernando Mendoza, great leader. Hey, we'll see what he could do if Tom Brady. Tom Brady owns that, is a co-owner of the Raiders.
Let's go.
Vegas, so we'll see.
Maybe that's part of the reason why these guys become quarterbacks on these great teams, is because of their personality.
Yes.
Maybe that
absolutely.
But back to the Bills, firing of the coach. Now, you didn't hear about that?
No.
What? Oh.
I was off yesterday. Remember? Yeah, get me up to it.
Yeah, well, I guess they let him go, and he's been there for a long time.
A lot of movement.
That's a hot topic too, like agreeing or disagreeing. But you know, as we've seen, even with your Indiana team, maybe a changing of the coach is
oh my gosh, completely.
What you need to push you past.
Well, think about where the Bears were.
Exactly.
Under
Ben
Eberflus.
Johnson has made all the difference.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's see. One person who I'm hoping. Well, I know he was rooting for the Bears, which didn't work out. I'm hoping he was rooting for Indiana last night as well. Let's welcome Michael Babcock to the show. I went to IU,
Good morning,
Michael.
guys.
So if you're rooting for Miami,
know that.
you got to.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How awesome was that last night?
It was incredible. Did you watch the game?
I did. Yeah. It was, I thought, and I'm really happy that Indiana won. I think great story. I thought it was probably going to be a one-sided game, so I was actually happy that it was a fun game to watch, and then to see Indiana ultimately, pull it out at the end. Yeah, awesome game. Congratulations. That's great. I was really upset about the game on Sunday night.
Yes.
The Caleb Williams play is one of the best plays that I can ever remember seeing. Incredible play, and obviously a very bright future. But I was very, very upset.
Yeah, we're clinging to the fact that it was such an improvement over last season.
Oh yes.
And there's so much cause for optimism. So we're.
I'm a Giants fan, and I am just praying for something like you guys had. And it shows if you've got the quarterback and you've got the coach, what could be possible in just one season. And so I'm hoping to be like you guys.
Where did you watch the game? Because you were cheering on the Bears in L.A.
Well, I watched it by myself just in my home, so I wasn't with anybody. I wasn't in a bar. I don't want to get beat up.
Right.
But I think I said this last week. They're frauds out here. The sports fans.
Yeah.
They're not.
Well, okay. So you didn't open your window and hear everybody cheering like we do in Chicago with the win.
It's not like that, because I'm from New York, so I can know what a diehard fan base is like, and I think you guys have that. In Chicago as well, but. It's different out here. Yeah. Unless it's, the Lakers and the Dodgers, they do take seriously.
Right.
I'll give them that. But there's so many people from different places here, too, that you've got a lot of different fan bases in L.A., so.
I get it.
It makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense.
It's just not as fun as Chicago. Okay, so.
Right, not as fun, period.
We have the most juicy topic to talk about.
This one, this is wild. Michael, a lot of these topics I learn about kind of before the show. I get caught up. This was one, this Brooklyn Beckham thing. I saw this unfold in real time on social media.
Did you? So you've kind of been up to date on this.
Exactly, but I'll let you guys take it away here.
It's a sad situation. So Brooklyn Beckham, who, of course, David and Victoria Beckham's son, one of their sons, is just full on in a feud, a public feud with his parents now. This had sort of been simmering beneath the surface, at the surface for some time, where there were some signs to suggest that they were not getting along with each other. But then yesterday, Brooklyn Beckham goes to Instagram, as you saw, and he just unloads on his parents. Scorched earth. Now, a lot of the issues have to do with the relationship between Brooklyn's now wife, his fiance when the issue started, Nicola Peltz, and Brooklyn basically says, my mom, Victoria, has tried everything under the sun to break up my relationship with my wife. And a lot of these things can sound petty, but I think when they accumulate, it probably is something more significant. But Brooklyn writes that my mom said she was going to design my wife's wedding dress. She pulls out at the last minute, and then my wife has to go find somebody else to design her dress. She interrupted our first dance as a married couple and sort of butted her way in and danced with me. And there were just a kind of a litany of things that he says has made him sour on his parents. He says, bottom line, they only care about their image, or they care more about their image than they do about the love of their family and friends, and that they will do anything under their power to protect that image. And because of that, he says, I am happier away from them, and I want nothing to do with my parents, nothing to do with mom and dad, which I think is sad. But he's got his reasons clearly, and he doesn't want to have a relationship with them.
I can't imagine this, family rifts happen, but then for a family rift to happen this publicly, do we know, Michael, any of the seeds of this thing? Because it feels to us, we were kind of chatting about this before the show, we were kind of, just kind of speculating. Is the seeds of this have to do with it's Nicola, right? Nicola and Victoria. Did they just not get along out of the gate?
That's what it seems like.
Okay.
Right. And we really haven't, at least not publicly, heard from Victoria, but the story that Brooklyn tells, it does seem like that they, for whatever reason, they never liked her, and because of that, they were making life, really difficult for them as a couple. And he really believes, because he writes this, so I assume he believes it, that his mom tried to ruin his marriage before they even said their I do's. So I guess if everything he says is true when it happened like that, I've got a feeling that Victoria and David would probably tell a different story as they see it. But when you read what he writes, it's hard not to say he doesn't make a compelling case for not having a relationship with them. I understand it's sad because that's his mom and his dad, but if they really are truly making life miserable for him and not, being a positive influence on his life, then I think I understand it. It's hard for me to imagine. It's not, the relationship that I have with my family, but I know this is sometimes how it goes, and I feel for them.
I was reading part of that where he wrote that his mom was bringing women from his past into his life again.
Right.
But this reminds me, in stories that we've had in the past, time and time again with celebrities especially, is airing your dirty laundry unnecessarily. Yeah. I wonder why. Do we know how old he is? I'm just curious to know why he's sending this out to the public instead of just keeping it.
Yeah, I don't know his age. That's a good question. I don't know. This has, like we said, for instance, last week, his wife scrubbed all of anything that had to do with Victoria or David from her Instagram page. She just scrubbed all those photos.
Wow.
So there was signs there that something was not right, that there were issues. But to go and just put it all out there, even if now let's say David Victoria picks up the phone today and calls Brooklyn, it's hard to imagine them coming back from this just because everything's been put out there in such a public way. So how do they rebound from this and make this work at some point? I don't know. Hopefully it's still possible.
It almost I know you got to go, Michael. It almost reminds me of the falling out that happened with the royal family in Britain too. With
you know what?
Harry
That's
and
a great. I thought the same thing. It's very similar in that it's really the high-profile people, and it's happening so publicly. I think that's a great kind of comparison to make here. It's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah. Hopefully they can work it out. It's sad.
Sad to see.
Yeah, hopefully they will.
Yeah, you can read all about it. TMZ. You guys are always on top of it. Michael, thank you. Very good
Thanks
to see
for
you
having
as
me, guys.
always.
It was great to see you. I'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Yeah, well, not only that they're all from the UK, but there was a documentary that came out the last couple of years about Victoria and Beckham. I think it was called Beckham. Did you ever watch some Netflix?
I never
really
watched
compelling, actually.
Is it?
Just a really, I mean, after watching the documentary, likable. Like David Beckham, really likable. And
Okay.
he and Victoria had this funny kind of. They would razz each other, but in kind of an endearing way. There was one moment where Victoria's doing an interview for the documentary, talking about her humble upbringings, and David was like in the background. He was like getting something out of a closet. He peeks his head out of the closet, and he's like, "What did you just say? Tell him what kind of car your dad drove. Tell him." And she's like, "Don't worry about it." And he's like, "No, tell him what kind." And the Victoria's like, "He drove a Bentley." And he goes, boom, right there. Like that kind of, it was funny. It was funny. Like they don't let each other. Anyway, and they talked about Brooklyn too. This is how I don't know a lot
He was
about.
probably young at the time.
I think they were talking about, oh yeah, he was younger.
Yeah.
But this documentary goes back to when they first got pregnant. And they told the story behind his name, Brooklyn. I think they were actually in Brooklyn when either they found out they were pregnant or they were having a boy or what. I don't have the exact details, but it was an endearing story and a fascinating family. And this certainly is a, yeah, it's
a little wrinkle in their image. It's just funny how just last week we were talking about baby names, and you brought up Brooklyn, and then over the weekend, for the first time, I pulled up Spice Girls music videos for my daughters to watch.
Oh, nice.
So what is happening? Because that is a
There's
weird
something in the
coincidence. It's like we were foreshadowing.
They were playing a Spice Girls song too.
Spice Girls is phenomenal. If you guys haven't,
oh yeah, this is weird.
Okay.
I was at Sky Zone yesterday with my 4-year-old. I had to take the day off yesterday because Maggie had to work and it was MLK Day, so I needed to be. I took the 4-year-old to Sky Zone. They were playing a Spice Girls song in the background at.
Why are we so deeply connected to the Beckhams and Spice Girls?
I don't know.
Were you a fan of the Spice Girls?
Well, whether I wanted to be or not, they was played constantly in the late 90s, or like in college. I remember that was like big. They were so big.
If you're ever making an Instagram picture or video and you can't think of a song, just throw up a Spice Girls.
There you go.
It's a classic.
We get to talk about a new exhibition that is coming to the Chicago Children's Museum after a short break. However, before we go to break, I do want to give a huge plug, and I've been giving it to you. All morning, raving about the Indianapolis Children's Museum.
Yeah.
I went there over the weekend. It was a long weekend. We had gotten tickets to see MJ the musical. The Michael Jackson. Anita Blanton had recommended it to us. I did not see it. Maggie and Theo went. It was an early birthday gift for him. So I took Jero to the Children's Museum while they were at the show. Parents out there, if you need like a one-night, easy out and back adventure to break up the winter, I cannot recommend the Indianapolis Children's Museum highly enough. They do such an amazing job. It's massive.
Yeah.
Jero didn't want to leave. We were there for like 3 hours. I had to drag him out of there. And we didn't even see, there's 4 different floors, all kinds of different new additions they've made to it, all these dinosaurs, interactive exhibits, so yeah.
Indianapolis Children's.
Yeah.
Did you find any good bites to eat? And what about overnight stays? Any recommendations for like hotels?
We just Airbnb'd it downtown because we were seeing the theater where the MJ show was playing was downtown, and we got a reasonable Airbnb, which was right downtown. At a good ate at a good Mexican restaurant, but it's affordable. Like, it's not Chicago prices down there.
Yeah, good.
So I highly recommend.
A nice little weekend drive away.
That said, we have a wonderful children's museum right on Navy Pier.
Yes, we do.
It's a great spot. I have spent many both winter and summer days there with variety of kids. I remember they had this Hot Wheels exhibit where it's just cars, and you could down these ramps. They do an amazing job at the Children's Museum, and so there is a new exhibit called I Am Wild. It explores the diversity and interdependency of life in the natural world, which is
my favorite.
Caitlin's
This
obsessed.
is right up my alley.
We've been following your bluebird journey.
Oh yeah.
online. It's so adorable.
Okay.
And so we are going to dive in and learn all about this new exhibit. So right on Navy Pier, blocks away from us, when we come back after this short break.
I got hurt in a car accident, and the insurance company...
Welcome back. In case you missed it, if you have littles, listen up, because it's cold outside, you want something to do indoors. Let's learn about nature and the new exhibit, I Am Wild, a Charlie Harper exhibit. It's the newest special exhibit at the Children's Museum in Chicago. It opened January 17th. Here's a couple images of it.
Oh, wow.
And runs to May 10th. It's beautiful, so bright and colorful. Okay, so this hands-on exhibit invites children and families to discover the diversity and interdependency of life in the natural world, fostering an appreciation for its creatures, and especially focusing on Charlie Harper. So joining us this morning is Noah Cruikshank. He's the Vice President of Marketing, Communications, and Guest Services. So let's dive into this exhibit. First of all, what makes it special? Is it this author that it's focused around?
Yes, absolutely. So many people, I'm sure, will have seen Charlie Harper and his work, but maybe don't know it was Charlie Harper. He was a Cincinnati-based American artist in the 20th century. He did what he referred to as natural minimalism, and you can kind of see in the work here where he takes nature, but he sort of breaks it down almost to its like inner geometry. Yeah, so there's beautiful, beautiful pieces, and there's a series of books called I Am Wild, and those are look at 6 different natural habitats. So the exhibit takes those different habitats and then sort of turns them into an experience. So kids are going to be able to touch things, play with things, look at cause and effect, hear ocean sounds, hear bird sounds, create their own natural patterns. There is something for kids ages 0 all the way up to 10, and it's just this beautiful immersive space that we have in our second floor of CCM.
Talk about creating this, because you guys basically made a 3D world out of these two-dimensional images here in the famous texts. So what did that take?
Yeah, so this was created by our friends at Pittsburgh Children's Museum. So it's a traveling exhibit that we get to have here. And then what they did was really incredible. So there are sort of different spaces that represent each of these different ecosystems, and in some of them you get to step and touch things, and you'll sort of hear either bird sounds or sounds of the ocean. But the idea is really kind of taking the art of Charlie Harper and thinking about how that could be a sort of a 3D experience. But on top of that, especially for the adults who are looking for something, we have a bunch of original Charlie Harper prints on the walls as well. So it really is also kind of an art exhibit. And one of my favorite things that we have is we have the first known piece of art he ever did, which was a cardinal that he created in grade 4 for his sister. And it's that's side by side a a print of a cardinal that we have of his, which is kind of one of his most iconic images. So kids are also going to be able to see, oh, this is where he started, and then now there's this incredible size of him. And so hopefully they can sort of think about where they could be as artists as they grow up.
So you have a mask in your hand,
I do.
arts and crafts. So talking about hands-on.
Absolutely.
Do you guys offer this daily?
So yes, we have an art studio and a tinkering lab. Those are dedicated spaces for kids to be makers. I actually made this in our art studio.
It's really nice.
And then we have, there are also masks that are part and parcel of the exhibit in the exhibit too, so kids want to do nature play. But we're always looking for ways for kids to kind of express themselves in different methods, right? Whether that's storytelling, whether that's dress up, whether that is even just basic things like gross and fine motor skills, or it's getting down with art. So we're in our art studio, we're doing painting right now. One of our wonderful, wonderful colleagues created these masks, and actually my team and I, because part of what we do for fun and working together as a group, we sat down and we created these masks that we have right here based on his work. So we looked up the different pieces, and this is the best I could do for Charlie Harper.
Not bad. Little arts and crafts project, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Here, a little fox here.
There you go. My kids love masks. Okay, so talking about the books, can you tell us how many different books that he wrote along this I Am Wild theme? And then also, do you recommend that we get these books and read them with our kids before heading to your display?
Well, I'll start with the second question first. I recommend you come, and then you come to the CCM bookstore and buy these.
Oh, you have
There
Yes,
you go.
these are all, I took these out of the
There's a reason he's the
store.
VP of Marketing Communications. So it was expertly answered.
There are 6 of these, and yes, we have this and some other Charlie Harper merchandise. But, you know, also, we're not selling this, but this is a Charlie Harper shirt that I got myself.
Cool.
So there are these incredible things you can get for adults as well, featuring his sort of iconic style. But yes, these are wonderful board books for kids, you know, who are just learning about colors and shapes and the natural world. I myself was sort of introduced to Charlie Harper because there's a Charlie Harper's Colors book that I read to my kids when they were little. So I highly recommend Charlie Harper books. But yes, I recommend coming, seeing the exhibit, coming down to the museum gift shop, and then picking up one of these.
Let's talk a little bit more about the author. Okay, what can you tell? Like, you know, you mentioned 20th century and his artwork. It is really unique. What was it about this guy that and his illustrations that caught on so much to the point where you can kind of recognize his style when you see it? I remember one of our friends, this very artsy friend of my wife's, made Theo his blanket. You know how like kids get a blanket that's like their go-to thing?
Yeah.
Theo's, and I haven't seen this thing in years, but it was designed, inspired. It actually looks just like the one you made.
No way.
Yeah, and it was really, really well done, but I had never heard of him until that. So kind of, I don't know, give me the Wikipedia first paragraph.
So he was a really amazing guy. He didn't start out planning to be an artist, but sort of took a step back and decided to be. He also said that if he wasn't going to be an artist, he was going to be a naturalist. So he was very, very personally invested in the natural world. He would go out. His wife was also an artist. They lived in Cincinnati for most of their lives. But where most people discovered him is he did posters, really iconic posters for the national parks. So that is sort of one of those places where he's sort of in the zeitgeist, because you'll have seen, and we have some examples at Chicago Children's Museum as well on display. But I think lots of people sort of saw him then. That was really kind of where he is, I think, in the sort of modern American zeitgeist.
Yes.
But then, yeah, for a lot of us who have kids, you know, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. I think for a lot of us, we were reintroduced to him because the artwork is both so you know, detailed and interesting for adults, but also so vibrant for kids as well. You know, I wouldn't call it childlike, but there is something that I think works really well for kids as they're identifying creatures in nature. So I think for a lot of us, we discovered him later as we were becoming parents as well. But his first, you know, the thing that I think most people know are those national park posters.
I love those national park posters. They're so beautiful to look at. Yeah, the bright colors, the images, these books are stunning. Can you tell us, I know we only have a couple more minutes or maybe a minute with you left, what's coming up at the Children's Museum, what you have after this wraps up perhaps that people can look forward to?
Yeah, so we have this through May. We're going to be doing special things around spring break, of course, so if you're looking for things to do with your kids around that time, please come in. We actually have a discount day on Sunday where every ticket is $5.29 thanks to the Illinois State Treasurer. This is an effort to get folks to know about 529.
529
I opened 529s for my kids after we did that day.
Yep.
After this, we'll have a castles exhibit, which we built, and that'll kind of go through the seasons. But the other thing that we have right now is Ella Jenkins, who is a local children's singer, a sort of internationally known children's singer. She passed away, and she gifted us her spinning tops. So the other new exhibit that we opened up is all about Ella Jenkins. And so if you want to learn about really a Chicago icon, an activist, someone who profoundly changed how we sing to children and play music to children, we have a wonderful display of her, and you can see that on your visit as well.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you so much for being in. Really appreciate it. And this is going to cause me, because I'm still in the book reading phase at night. I know we've got a couple Charlie Harper illustrated books on the shelf. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, what this goes through May 10th. May 10th.
May 10th.
All right, very good. It is 10:30.
I am wild.
A quick break and more Chicago Now when we come back.
Okay, take a look at your screen if you're just listening to us and zoom in on this one here. This is Jen Lukey. You may recognize her face because she's the food creator behind Jen Eats Good, which boasts over 1.7 million followers. She just released this new book titled Don't Think About Dinner, Save Time and Money, with 125 plus easy, nourishing, delicious recipes for every meal. And she's here to join us to talk about her book, but also to dive into her social media journey. And that's actually where I want to start, and then we'll get into, obviously, your phenomenal cookbook here. So when did you get started on social media? Because 1.7 million, that is incredible.
Thank you.
And what led to your success?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, honestly. Thank you guys for having me on. I started my Instagram account when I was in college, and I always loved to cook, always loved to share my food, but it was a very different time on Instagram, so there was no videos or anything like that, but I was just sharing photos of me personally kind of learning how to eat healthier. I always loved to cook, but I didn't really know how to cook healthy meals, and I talk about this in the introduction of the book. I was sharing that journey on my own, and as I started to share more of the recipes, my meal prep, my weekly meal plans, how I made my grocery list, people really liked it. So I started to do more and more of that and share these meal plans with a list where you get everything that you're going to cook for the week, and it makes it very simple and just easier to eat well. So that's kind of what grew my following on social media, is making those meal plans.
Was that like did you make it your full-time thing, or were you doing this kind of in your at the beginning, just kind of in your spare time between?
Yeah,
work?
definitely in my spare time. First I was in college, so while I was in college, and then my background is in finance. So for a few years after college, I worked a corporate job in commercial banking, which is part of the reason why I love talking about budgeting and money when it comes to your grocery shopping and cooking. And then I ultimately did go full-time, sharing my recipes and my meal plans with everybody.
That is so cool.
Okay, so let's talk about how you got in. So you're sharing your meal plans, how you started eating healthier, making it easy for people to make healthy meals. What was your inspiration? Was your mom a great cook? Did you learn from your grandma? What's the story behind that? Because I could tell you, if I tried to do this, I would be horrible.
Well, it's been a process of learning all of that. But my family, they weren't super into cooking. I did grow up cooking with my mom every now and then, but I had two busy working parents. So cooking wasn't the focus of our household, or meal planning, or making sure we kind of knew what we were going to be having going into the week. So that's why I love talking about that now, because I know so many people are in that situation where they're just very busy. They want to eat well, they want to feed their families well, or feed themselves well, but it's hard to do. So we were in that scenario, but I found that I really loved to cook, and I started to watch Food Network after school and look at the cookbooks we had, and then I kind of became the cook of my family and have loved cooking for them. Even since I was like 10 or 11 years old, I was cooking dinner for my family, so that's how I got into it, and it just snowballed from there.
Before we went on, Caitlin told me that yesterday the day got away from her a little bit. She was going to do some prep. She's going to do some meal prep for the week, and Caitlin, it didn't happen, right?
That's right. Okay, so yesterday, it's true. I told Anthony, because you know how sometimes you splurge on buying food items when you're out and about, and you're like, yeah, I should save it and stay home and eat at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt so energized after eating this egg dish that had some spinach and a wrap. You can get it at Starbucks. But I got home and I was like, I've got to meal prep. I've got to boil the eggs. I've got to make some sort of sandwich situation for work, and I didn't get to it.
Yeah.
So you said that this is an easy plan for busy people, busy working people, even working moms. So what can people expect if they purchase this book? Like, what's the breakdown here?
Well, this is perfect. I have all the tools that you need to actually make it happen. But what they can expect from the book is it's split up into two parts, actually. So it is a cookbook, but it's also much more than a cookbook, and I really wanted to do that because that's the kind of tools that I share on social media. So part one of the book, all in the same book, but it's just broken into two, is everything that you need to get ready and be successful in the kitchen. So it's how to stock your pantry and your fridge and your freezer with things that you're going to use throughout the week, the month, so that it's not so overwhelming to go to the store and stock up on all of that stuff. It's how to make a grocery list, how to make a meal plan, how to know how many meals you should plan to make for the week, and all those little things. Yeah, that's everything in part one. You're going to learn how to prep and how to stock your pantry, how to shop, how to put everything into containers and how long to store it. I have all of that. And then I have 12 weeks of dinner plans in there. They all have a theme, and it gives you a grocery list that you can scan a QR code, you can download to your phone, and when you shop for that list, you'll have 5 dinners that you can make for the week. So those are the dinner plans, and then, yeah, you're on the breakfast chapter now. I have breakfast and lunch that are all geared towards meal prepping. So you could prep them ahead. I have storage and reheating instructions for every recipe in the book. So it kind of gives you everything you need, where you can pick up the tools that you want. I have a little pop quiz you can follow to figure out where to start. But if you're somebody that really wants to go all in and plan your meals, make your list, your meal plan, you can do that. Or if you're somebody that just needs some recipe inspiration, you can open it to a page like you're doing now and then just choose to shop and cook for that night.
Spinach, goat cheese, sun-dried tomato stuffed.
There you go, Caitlin.
Sounds
it's right in your wheelhouse.
It is really good.
I did a whole thing where I was going to try to make my meals, and this lasted a couple months, but it turned into something that was too time-consuming. It was kind of like an egg, potato, turkey sausage
your
type
breakfast
creation.
Burrito thing?
Yeah, without the tortilla.
Yeah.
But what happened to me was it just became, I got the containers.
Yeah.
And it just became a little too time-consuming. So I'm curious kind of about the approach you decided to take. There's 125 recipes, so I'm guessing some take longer than others. But in terms of prep time, what can folks find in there?
There's a spread, but the focus of the book is things without a lot of ingredients, without a lot of prep time required, and without a lot of active cooking time required. So there are some recipes. I have a chapter called A Little Fancier, and those are recipes that are more like for a date night or for a dinner party. So I do have that. They're still nothing crazy. They're very approachable. But then I have chapters like all one-pot meals. So that's everything you just kind of dump and bake. I have 30-minute meals, which are 30 minutes total of prep time and cook time. So if you're prepping for 10 minutes, minutes. You're only going to cook for 20 minutes. And then all the breakfast and lunch, because they're geared towards meal prep, not only are they simple, but they also make servings that you can eat throughout the week. So if you spend 30 minutes prepping your breakfast burrito or whatever you want to prep, then you actually have it for the whole week. And that's going to save you so much time. But the whole thesis of the book is saving time and money and energy.
You also said, oh, go ahead, Caitlin.
I was just going to say, I'm thumbing through here just to look at these recipes because, as we've been saying, we don't have a lot of time. But to your point, and you said this, there aren't a lot of ingredients, which I appreciate because I'm not a good cooker. I'm not a chef, okay? So I've only got a handful of items in my pantry, but I'm telling you, it's stuff that is repetitive too, but with additional flavors that'll make it delicious. Like you've got the garlic powder, the olive oil, the black pepper.
Yes, it's all pantry staples. And
love
that's
that you will use across multiple recipes, because that's another thing we all run into is you pick a cool looking recipe and then you've got all this stock of a single ingredient that you don't know whether to use it again or where to put it afterwards, and it can get overwhelming.
You're saying exactly what I say every week, and that's why in the dinner plans and then even all the other recipes, I actually intentionally use any ingredient in multiple ways. So let's say you're buying something like a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. If you use it in that recipe you called out, the goat cheese stuffed chicken, you're going to use half the jar in that recipe, and then in that same meal plan later, you're going to make the sheet pan gnocchi recipe that uses sun-dried tomatoes to make a cashew cream. So you use everything up, and then it's also very satisfying to use all your ingredients. It's going to save you money, and you're just going to feel great about actually using what you bought, because we've all done that. We've all bought a specialty ingredient for one recipe,
and then you're like,
and then you're like, wait, why did I buy this?
Exactly.
You use the word nourishing as well, and I do want to touch on kind of your background as well. You mentioned that at the beginning of this journey, you really made an effort to get healthier than you had been. The old cliche, necessity is the mother of invention. So that's where that was kind of the seed for this. But describe your own personal journey and kind of really what was the catalyst to go with the nourishing approach.
Yeah, this book truly is all the tools that helped me change my own life, and that's why I'm so happy I get to share it, because it is the things that I think other people are going to be able to change their lives through. But for me, when I was in college, I knew that I had to change my life around. I wasn't healthy, I wasn't feeling good. So I started just by making a grocery list one week and figuring out, okay, what am I going to eat during the week? Because I had no plan, and that was resulting in me, especially in college, like I was just all over the place. I didn't know what I was going to be eating, and then it just resulted in not the best choices, not to mention wasting money that I didn't have and all those other things. So as I documented my journey of getting healthier and sharing my recipes, I really did change the way that I felt, and I feel so strongly about these recipes that are focused on plants and protein and not a lot of ingredients and things that are very simple and feel good to eat and cook and make. And for me, over the past 8 years now that I've been sharing recipes on social media, I have changed along with it. I've lost over 70 pounds. I've gotten much healthier. And I'm just so passionate about these recipes because I do know that for me, it changed my life, and I think it will for a lot of people.
Okay, so my question is, you've done this over 8 years, and this is really putting you on the spot. But if you had to pick one meal, maybe one snack from your book that people have to try first.
Oh,
what is it?
Hard question.
What is your go-to staple?
It's like picking your favorite kid, Caitlin.
I know it. Was it the goat cheese chicken that
that is a great one.
Tomatoes.
I have to say, the recipe that's on the cover of the book, it's my one-pot lemony chicken thighs and rice. It is my go-to. I make it so much, and it's one of my most popular recipes on social media that I decided to include in the book. The book is mainly new recipes, but I kept that one on there and made it the cover because it really encapsulates what the recipes are all about, where it's very simple, it's easy to make. You make it in one pot, which is great, but it's also really customizable to what you have on hand, what works for you, and what you like. So it's these base kind of recipes. It's one-pot chicken and rice. I use kale and lemon, but if you have butternut squash and, I don't know, chopped walnuts that you want to add in, you can do that too. So that's a recipe I always recommend starting with. Everybody loves it as is, but you can really make it your own. Use what you have on hand in the pantry. Maybe something you bought for a recipe that you never used up.
Beautiful.
Let's get a couple other examples, and I want to do like one from the breakfast and one from the dinner.
Okay.
One thing that caught my eye on the dinner front was something miso salmon.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that one. Then I want to hear about breakfast because that's our wheelhouse here. I would love to be able to meal prep a little breakfast, bring it here. I've been going with the overnight oats, which is good, easy, but you know what? I need a little variety.
Yeah, you gotta switch things up. And I have some overnight oats, I have some chia puddings, all those kinds of things, and then I have egg-based things. I try to do a whole spread. The miso acorn squash, it's a sheet pan meal, so simple. It has this miso sauce with coconut aminos and miso paste, simple pantry staple ingredients, and then sliced acorn squash. You just cook it all in a sheet pan in the oven, and it's seasonal around like this time in the fall. It's a great seasonal meal too, and you can switch it up too. If you're not a salmon person, you could use chicken, or you could use a white fish. You can use tofu if you don't eat meat, so that's a great sheet pan meal. I love that you called that one out. It's a yummy one.
Yeah, it caught my eye because I like the miso stuff. Maggie makes a good salad dressing that has a little miso in it.
Yum.
So good. Yeah. It's a great fermented food.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, the breakfast.
Right, let's explore breakfast a little bit.
So breakfast, like I said, they're all designed to be prepped ahead. So I have things like Starbucks copycat egg bites is one of my very popular recipes.
Do you need one of those sous vide to do that?
Oh no.
Okay.
And no specialty equipment in this book. It's all really basic, and I actually have a part of the book that tells you everything that you need in the kitchen. So that's a really popular breakfast that I personally love. I also make these high-protein breakfast biscuits. It's my most viral breakfast meal prep on social media, and I knew I had to include it in the book, and I have some new variations in the book. But what you do is you cook some ground meat of any kind. I like to do like ground chicken. You mix in some scrambled eggs, a little bit of almond flour, or if you don't want to use almond flour, you can use regular flour. Actually, all the recipes in the book are gluten-free, but only if you want them to be. And then some cheese and vegetables. You put it all into this like ball, put it on a sheet pan, and bake it for about 15 minutes, and it makes these high-protein breakfast biscuits. You can freeze them.
Nice.
You can air fry them. Put them
nice.
You guys have to try. If you really love a breakfast prep, you've got to try them.
That sounds time efficient too.
It is, and it makes a lot.
Filling.
It makes 12 biscuits. So like I said, all in one batch, and then you're set for the week. Keep it in your freezer. Kids love them. Everybody always tells me their kids go crazy for them, and I love them.
Great. Okay.
What seasonings go in that, by the way?
It depends on the flavor, but I like to do like basic salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of ground sage if you like that breakfast sausage flavor.
Yeah.
So good.
Caitlin, I want to ask her one thing about social media before we let her go, because we got the 1-minute warning here. Your advice, with 1.7 million followers, your advice to folks who are trying to maybe get social media going, get Instagram or TikTok going in 2026, what are your big bullet points that you'd advise?
I would say you have to have a message that you feel very strongly about that makes you, you, because there are a lot of people trying to share all different types of content on social media, but people can tell when it's you have your own story. Like for me, I feel like I'm so emotionally connected to these recipes because they are the things that help me change my life, and I'm so passionate about it, and I want to share them. So having your own backstory and why behind what you're doing is so important, because people really connect to that and feel that way. So having a strong reason, and then just being consistent. It took me a long time to grow my followers on social media. Like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years, and I feel so passionate about it, but you got to keep showing up every day, even if not every single thing you post gets a ton of views, because even now, not every single thing I post does.
We just got the absolute wrap. But consistency, what does that mean to you? Is that 1 post a day? Is it 5 posts a day? Is it something?
It's what's sustainable for you, but I would say at least 3 to 4 posts a week. If you can keep up with that and just keep
stories
doing it. Stories are great way to connect with your audience, but just keep showing up and be yourself.
Do you feel like once you got a lot of followers, it kind of took off then?
It does compound, but you have to do it. You know, people really loved these meal plans, and that's what helped me grow. So I knew I had to give my community more of that thing that they love so much.
Well, I mean, that really catches my eye about part 1 of that is like, hey, what kind of container should I have? How do I map this out? What are reusable things that won't just sit in my pantry?
Yeah. Your book is beautiful. Congratulations.
Don't Think About Dinner by Jen Lukey. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. Jenny's good with 3 O's.
With 3 O's.
With 3 O's. So let's get her to 2 million.
Yeah.
Let's get it up to 2 million. All right, we are going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, in studio puppets, the 8th Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival kicks off mañana.
Yeah.
Okay, it goes for the next 12 days. I think
They're
we
in
have
studio.
some fun guests in studio. Not only the puppeteer, but the puppets themselves. We get to interview some puppets. Caitlin, you ready?
Can't wait.
You ready for this?
Very interesting
Quick
looking
break.
too.
Quick break. We'll be right back.
Are you struggling?
like you could be a
Welcome back. Can't wait to show you these interesting characters that we have right behind us. In the meantime, look at this. It's beautiful, Chicago. All right, let's talk about this 8th Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival because it kicks off tomorrow, running for 12 straight days at theaters and community centers, large and small, all over the city through February 1st. So joining us this morning with the preview of the fest is Blair Thomas. He's the founder and artistic director of Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival, alongside a few puppet artists that are going to show us a little preview of what you can expect. So good morning to you, Blair. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Sure thing. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being in studio. First of all, tell us about the festival itself. It goes for 12 days, kicks off tomorrow. It's now in its 8th year. Where is it all happening, and like, what is the scale of it?
Yes, this is North America's largest puppet festival, just to say. It's here in our town of Chicago. We have over 100 events. Last year, 22,000 people came out to see our shows. We have shows in the south side, the north side, the west side, downtown, all around. There are paid performances at venues like the Logan Center, the Studebaker Theater, and the MCA, and a variety of different others. There are also free performances in Park District places and other community centers around the city.
Blair, can we talk about the puppet community? And I'm sure that there are so many fans out there across the world, but a little bit, dive behind the curtain a little bit for us with the puppet displays that we're going to be seeing, the people involved.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, puppetry is a vibrant art form that kind of grows out of not only what we think of as traditional puppetry, hand puppets and marionettes, but it also has this deep roots in kind of ritual and large effigy characters. And so these kinds of puppets combine together to create what I think you could call a visual theater. Like you saw on the images that from our festival here, it's a very, the spectacle is a large part of it. And the work that we're presenting is largely for adult audiences, meaning they're serious works, they're not just light entertainments, but at the same time, we have some excellent works for young audiences as well.
Yeah, we got young kids too. I want to. We got a couple other guests that are joining this segment. I want to. I don't want to put these guys on the spot, but like, where are you? Who are you, and where do you come from?
Well, I'm a boy, and this is my friend. She's a dodo.
A dodo?
That's right.
Oh,
they're extinct.
They're extinct, but you're not? You two to Chicago, do you perform together?
That's right. We're in a show called Dead as a Dodo. Sorry, Dodo.
Is it a scary story? What happens?
Well, there's some scary parts, but it's also really hopeful because, well, I don't want to give away too much, but it's a musical with lots of songs, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's a little spooky. We recommend 7 and up.
7 and up. Okay, that's Dodo. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been so long, I kind of forgot.
You kind of forgot?
We've been underground for a long time.
Oh, you guys have been... Well, thank you for coming above ground.
Yeah, it's an honor to be
hang
here.
out with us. Let's see, if people over the age of 7 that are old enough to come check you guys out and see your story about why you're above ground, how do they come check you out?
Oh, we're at the Studebaker Theater.
The Studebaker Theater.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. Much better than underground.
Are there going to be other characters too, or is it just the two of you?
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of characters. There's a Bone King, there's a Gondolieri, there's a Bone Princess.
Oh.
There's all kinds of characters.
There's a whale.
Oh, there's a whale. Yeah,
a bone princess and a whale.
Blair, I feel like I'm in a Tim Burton situation right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. This is a look at the future where there's nothing but bones in the world, but something starts to regenerate, and one of them starts to regenerate, and you'll have to come and see which character is the first one to come back to life.
If someone's watching this, and obviously you mentioned how there's so many different shows that are going to be put on, how would you guide them to figure out where they should go, what they should see?
It's true. It's a little overwhelming. There's so many options. But I would say for very young families, we also have a show called The Enormous Crocodile, which is an adaptation of a Roald Dahl story. It will also be in the Fine Arts Building in the Studebaker Theater. A fantastical musical, beautiful puppets coming from London. It's a great, great show. Super exciting. And for the more serious fare, we have A Doll's House, which is an adaptation of Ibsen's play that's being done at the Royal Ruskin Theater. also coming from Norway. So these are kind of our large-scale shows, but we have actually one performance that is performed for a single person. It's only 5 minutes long, and it's you're a dinner guest of 12 people, and there's a special dinner that's prepared for you, and then each guest is taken to a special little theater for this performance and brought back.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole variety of work you could see.
I want to bring in some of the artists behind these wonderful characters. I'm already so curious about your guys' backstory.
Oh yeah, we got some backstory.
You guys got some backstory. Okay, so you guys have actually, for the artists behind the puppets here, you guys have performed all over. I understand you're kind of New Yorkers / Norwegians here. Tell us about the Chicago. I grew up my entire life here in Chicago. I didn't know we were such a big puppet destination.
Great puppet legacies in Chicago. Yeah, I'm from New York. My partners here are from Norway. And we've taken this show all around the world. We've been to South Korea, we've been to France for a wonderful puppet festival. So we find that this show really speaks to audiences, and you can kind of reach people with puppets in a different way than we can with our regular selves.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well, where should people, I know we got to wrap it up. Where should people go for more information to see when and where these shows will be playing?
Yeah, well, if you go to ChicagoPuppetFest.org, this is our website where all the programming is there. You can see.
I love this. What a cool thing to do. Biograph Theater, Music Box Theater. There's some North. This is great, especially this time. It's so cold outside. Looking for fun things to do indoors. Thank you all.
It'll warm your hearts if you come see the show.
We will do that. I got a 9-year-old, so that
it's perfect.
Yours aren't old enough
over
for that.
7.
All right, we got a really fun hour of Chicago Now. Another hour coming up after this short break. So stick around. Hope your Tuesday's going great, everybody.
Nothing beats a Chicago.
Welcome to the 11 o'clock hour of Chicago Now. Taking a live look at the bean.
It's a little misleading.
It's
because it looks like, skies are blue, the sun is out, and you're thinking, sure, sounds like a thing I'd want to do, go out to the bean, and then you step outside and you go out.
And you're like, oops,
huge
never
mistake.
mind. Yeah. It's crazy because yesterday I literally walked, Jake.
Sure.
200 feet, if that.
Yeah.
It was like maybe a quarter of a block.
Yeah.
I have no sense of measurement, so please
Sure.
forgive me. But I was wearing these little heels, they're closed toe.
Yeah.
I thought my feet were going to fall off.
Yeah.
I was actually going into the Museum of Science and Industry.
Sure, where I was today.
Yes, where you were today. And we were doing the press conference for Paul Tazwell, the famous costume designer.
Sure.
Anyway, more about my feet. I thought they were going to fall off.
It's, you know what, even we were, my girlfriend and I were walking around here yesterday. We had some errands to run, and I don't have like the longest beard right now, but it was cold enough where the moisture was starting to freeze in. I looked like I'd climbed the like Mount Everest or something.
That's why I stopped growing a beard.
That's, you know what, and it suits you.
Yeah, it does?
It suits you.
Okay. Let's talk about what's coming up on the show.
We got a lot of stuff going on in the show. Tia's out shooting an amazing story, so she's going to be back hopefully tomorrow. I'm happy to be filling in. But we've got a lot of amazing stories. I got the rundown for the show, and I thought, well done. Well done, our team behind the scenes.
One is what is kind of serious. So it's public mistrust with organ donation system. It's causing a drop in numbers of donations from deceased donors. So we're getting a specialist to weigh in on that. Sure. Kind of the importance of things, maybe to clear up some rumors that have been going on. We're also learning more about the West Loop Wedding Walk.
I don't know what that is, but I'm ready to learn.
It is what it sounds like, I think. Jake, I was going to call you Mike.
That's
Mike
okay.
Kaplan.
I give off Mike Kaplan vibes.
And stuff from the 10 to the
we're
11.
all over the place.
There's puppets running around.
Yeah, I saw that. Was a great segment.
It was.
That was a great segment.
But essentially, it's like a big opportunity for vendors to get together and people who are newly engaged or wedding enthusiasts.
So you said that's what it sounds like. To me, that's not what it sounds like. I thought it was like a bunch of people who were getting married all walking together.
That's true, Jake.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay, in the female mind, that's what it sounds like.
Yep.
But first, we have a very special guest.
Yes.
We're talking with a local designer who's turning grief into meaningful clothing. She's here in studio to tell us a little more. Tisa Johnson-Banks, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is so exciting. I mean, you have just kind of rocketed up to stardom because of your beautiful designs here. But I want to talk first about your story. You know, we have an opportunity here to have a long conversation. I know that people have probably seen your clothing. Yes. We're going to bring them up for folks on camera here. But first, let's talk about, you know, you said that you've had to stitch back your life. Life back together 4 times. Tell us a little bit about your story, if you don't mind.
So, I lost my brother in June 2023, and to honor him, I made a sweater, and I put it on social media, and it just took off. So I was putting in orders like every single day. I was putting in orders, and to honor my brother on his birthday, I actually purchased a building the following year. All the money that I used, all the money that I made making the sweaters, I saved it up and I purchased a building. And I was super excited because I did it on his birthday. And it all came from the sweaters. And I want to say about 2 weeks later, I lost another brother, June of 2024. So it was just like a setback, like, oh my God, I lost a brother again the same month. And not only that, my building was a disaster. I found out it was back taxes, over $65,000 of back taxes. So it's just like, oh my God, everything I worked so hard for is just gone away. So I took a break. I took a break from everything to get my mental right. So last year I decided, hey, let me pick back up the pieces. I'm like, I need my building. Tragedy hit again in June. I lost another brother. I lost another. Not only that, I received a letter stating that the taxes on my building was purchased. $45,000. I shut down. So I'm like, I only have 2 months, 2 to 3 months to get this money. And what did I do? I hustled. I made more sweaters. I made a Caleb Williams sweater, and it went viral. It went viral. Simone Val, she reached out to me, and the rest was history.
Wow.
Wow.
First of all, I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sorry for your
Thank
loss.
you.
I want to talk about, you know, they often say that when you lose someone, you've got to find that purpose again. You've got to find whatever it is in life that's going to kind of get you going, keep you moving the way that you needed to be kept moving. I'm sort of curious, the process of physically making these, of putting these together, was that your therapy? Did you find comfort in that?
Yes. Not only did I make these, so people reached out to me. So I was making them for a lot of people who lost their loved ones. So it was just a way of me giving back, turning my pain into purpose. So me losing them was actually helping others too get over their grief.
I was going to say, you know, it's a blessing in so many ways.
Sure.
Because I knew that you were, you know, making some of these pieces of clothing for others who have lost loved ones. But also, you're bringing so much joy into people's lives.
Yes.
You know, even with football, it's brought I think the country together really in many ways in a time where we need it. You know, since we have some of these pieces of clothing in front of us, and I'm looking at the detail
Oh, it's
while
unreal.
you're talking,
It's
Tisa,
unreal.
It's beautiful, and you said this was your first one or one of your
This one was my first one.
Oh, let's bring it up.
So I wasn't pretty good with the graphics with this. So
Did you say you were not?
No.
I think it looks fantastic.
No, this is like
beautiful.
this is like the startup. So once I got the graphics down,
How did you learn how to do that?
on my cell phone.
What do you mean on your cell phone?
I'm creative, so I teach myself everything. I can teach myself something in 5 minutes.
Come on.
Yes, yes.
But Tisa, how long does like a sweater like this take you?
From graphics to cutting out sewing, 23 minutes.
Whoa, you got
Yes.
it down to a science
Yes,
then.
23 minutes.
Wow.
And that's with me like scrolling on Facebook, taking a break.
All the distractions that we're all dealing with every day.
You know what? We might be able to make you 23 minutes.
Yeah, but we've got 23 minutes for this. Wow, that is incredible.
Incredible.
So this is me and my brother. The first one I lost in 2023, and that's my brother I lost in 2024. And this hat is a picture of all three: 2023 of June, June 2024, and June 2025.
Wow.
Wow, your resilience is really inspiring. Thank you so much, Tisa, for sharing your talents with us. Let's talk a little bit more about the Bears, because now, you know, there's been some chatter, right? You have the big names like Simone Biles, like some of the other WAGs, and even some of the players, right? That are interested in the clothing.
Yes, I actually made those. I took my husband to Detroit, and we actually stayed a extra day. I drove to a store. I found like a Bears jersey, sweater, and those are pants.
In Detroit?
Yeah. And those are pants. So we drove to Detroit, and I had my sewing machine and Cricut in the car. I always travel with that.
Yeah.
And I made that in the hotel room in like 15 minutes, and I wore it to the game. And those Lion fans was trying to eat me alive, but they love it.
You're a brave person just for that. Wait, you always travel just because? Is it you never know where inspiration's going to strike?
You never know. Yeah.
Is that the craziest place where inspiration kind of has struck? Where
no, the Dollar Tree.
You can get some good stuff. And then, wait, what did you find? Tell me.
So I do a lot of creative things. I did some Mother's Day baskets. I was shopping. I had a whole cart, like $200 worth of stuff. And I dropped everything and went home and started creating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at the when things start to go viral? You know, it can be a little overwhelming.
Yes.
How do you handle something like that?
I'm used to going viral.
Yeah?
Yeah, I always go viral, so I'm just humble. It humbles me a lot because it's like millions of people. One time I had 26 million views.
Wow.
26 million views in 2 days. So I'm used to going viral, and I'm used to pressure. I work best at pressure when I'm under pressure. I can make an outfit. I made an outfit in the car, so in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, I always found comfort. There's that expression that when someone passes, that you never really lose them as long as you're still talking about them, as long as stories are told.
Yes.
And I feel like, you know, obviously I know you lost your brothers, and I know that has to be incredibly difficult, but the fact that their image and these pieces are going viral, and that we're all still talking about them, and people are spreading them around, there has to be comfort found in that.
Yes, actually I heard a voice from my brother telling me to make that Kayla Williams sweater.
What do you tell me about that moment?
So I was just sitting and I was creating. So sometimes I go through these moments where I create and then I stop creating. And so the Green Bay game, and I just heard a voice say, make a Kayla Williams. And I'm like, the season is almost over. Like, where is this going to go for me? Say, this is the way. I got you. And I made the sweater. And when it went viral and Simone reached out to me, so we actually agreed to give it to his mom instead of giving it to him.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So mom wore it during the game.
And that's beautiful.
Yes.
Like getting these celebrities, these big names in your DMs. You said it wasn't surprising, you know, going viral because all your stuff goes viral.
Yes.
How could it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what was kind of the process of finding out, okay, Simone Biles in my DMs?
I kind of like, I freaked out. I was just scrolling. I kept refreshing my page, like page, like, oh my God, is this real?
Is there a blue check mark?
Yes, it was a blue.
To make sure. Yes.
Hey, babes. I'm like, oh my God. And so it was just insane. And then Caleb's chief of staff reached out to me as well. So they scheduled like a meetup, and I didn't know Simone was going to be there. So I walk up and I look. I'm like, oh my God. But I don't get starstruck. I was just more chill, kind of. But it was so unreal for me.
Well, it feels like you kind of have to. I think you're a true designer, honestly. You kind of hold yourself like a true designer, too.
Yes.
And that's good, because I feel a lot of the same. Actually, when I was listening to the gentleman that you looked at today at MSI.
Oh, Paul.
Paul Tazwell.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like he kind of has that same presence where he has to just kind of listen, take it all in order to serve his customer base, which is you know, these higher names. You know, I was going to ask you about your orders now. All right, now you're officially viral on social media. You know, how are things going? Can you keep up with it?
Yeah. It's nothing for me.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I have 210 text messages that I have to go through.
Oh.
Yeah.
The anxiety that gives me, that little bubble.
Yes,
on
the
your
little
phone.
bubble.
Yes.
The little bubble. But I'm used to I work well under pressure, so I knock them out.
Yeah.
How often are you working on it then during the week, during the day?
So I have a set schedule. I would do about 4 hours a day on the sweaters.
But the way that you can turn these around, that could be a lot. Do you have, you know, obviously, we've seen a lot of celebrities who have reached out and slid into the DMs. Is there someone that you would love to get your work in front of?
Simone.
Wait, what Simone? I thought Simone did, right?
No, she actually, I want to make something for her.
Oh.
Yeah,
for her. I think, it's going to happen.
Oh, I absolutely see that happening.
You wouldn't believe how many times people have said something on this show and it comes through like within a week, for real. A lot of influencers coming on, even celebrities and stuff like that. It's that camera right there. That's the one that.
There. Oh, well, good at it.
Your dreams right now.
All right there. Well done to our behind-the-scenes team.
You tell that camera right there.
So I do dream of working with Chris Brown. He's a big one. I love Chris Brown. Usher. But I just want to spread my love. Spread my love. Turn my pain into purpose. Yeah.
So what is the status of your studio right now after all the trouble that these buildings and different journeys have taken you?
So I have actually until February 27th to raise $45,000 or I will lose my building.
Wow. Do you have anywhere people maybe could help you, or is it really just placing orders, supporting your business?
Yes, I have a GoFundMe. I have and placing orders as well. Yeah, but I don't know my GoFundMe.
It's okay.
We'll get the information. We'll make sure.
People know your, you know, where to find you online, and I bet you have it linked somewhere.
Yes, and placing orders is always amazing. I like to work for things, so even if I don't get like donations, I'll work for it.
Well, and also too, if you give it, you know, if you place an order, you're both helping out.
Yes.
And you get something back. So I mean, selfishly,
yes,
it's pretty cool fashion as well. So
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there are going to be people who are watching this show. Who everyone's struggle is different, right? But maybe they're dealing with their own thing. And they're hearing your story, and they're hearing how you turned pain into purpose. They're hearing everything you went through and what you were able to accomplish despite all of that, or maybe because of all of that. What advice do you have for someone who's watching going, you know, I'm also struggling and I'm trying to find my way, maybe the way that she is?
Dream big. Never give up. Never give up. Dream so big that it scares you. So turn that grief into purpose.
Was there ever a moment, because you know you're doing very well.
Yes.
And right now it's easy to, but was there ever a moment where you had to get over this idea of the negativity? Say, you know, I got to push that aside.
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
Absolutely. So I pray a lot. I pray and I ask God, give me the strength. And I sleep on it, and then I create. So I just keep creating. So creating helps me release.
I would imagine that there are people in your circle, people who know you, friends and family, they're probably not surprised by any of this. It probably tracks exactly who you are.
Yes, people are more excited for me than I am for myself, and it's so crazy. I'm like always a nervous wreck. I am like 9 times out of 10, I'm nervous. I have really bad anxiety, so.
Which is funny, because I'm not getting that from you at all.
I am like,
usually this is what brings it out in people. I'm not getting that.
No, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
Right at this moment.
Yeah.
I'm not getting.
So I like to be in my own creative bubble because I do get nervous a lot. But a lot of people say they don't. see it, but I am sweating.
Well, you know what?
Yes.
Again, it's a special gift to be this talented, also be able to be nervous, but still be able to do this.
Yes.
Hold on, because I want to go back to when sewing first started for you. Like, was it something you've done as a young girl? Because it really is a lost art.
Oh my God, yes.
I started when I was 7 in a Boys and Girls Club. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I made a pillow, and then I started cutting up my mom's clothes, and she didn't know.
I was like, how'd she react to that?
Yeah. So in high school, one of my friends came in like, oh, I have something like that. I'm like, shh, do not say anything. Like, I cut up her clothes, outfits.
Do you still have that pillow?
No, I don't have a pillow.
That's where it began.
Yeah.
That was
where it began.
Wow.
Yeah, but I still have some of those outfits that I made.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to continue to post those, but you also cherish these, and these will be in your collection, right? As people look back at your archive. And you also, if I remember, you have a connection to football, right? Was it like from a young age? Is that correct?
No, I actually wanted to play football.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I wanted to play football so bad, and they say girls are not allowed to play football.
Who said that?
Back then they said that. Now it's girls on football teams. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's flag football, there's everything.
That's I can't do that now. I'm 40. I don't.
I promise you could do way more than anything I could do.
Trust me.
These knees.
I stay to designing and being a diehard football fan.
Sure.
And the games, cheer my team on.
Yeah. But you know, I know we're talking a lot about the celebrities that are reaching out about these items, but this obviously we want to emphasize this is not just for the celebrities in Chicago.
Oh, no.
Everybody has the ability to wear this stuff and walk down the street and have people talk to you about it.
So I travel for a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
And when I go to concerts, people walk up to me like, hey, you're Tisa with the T.
Come on.
And I'm like, oh my God, because I'm a nervous wreck. So I would sit down and people would like put on my social media like, hey, I seen you in St. Louis at the concert, or I seen you in Detroit at the concert. And I always wear an outfit that I made.
That's so funny. So of course they're going to recognize you. Plus you're gorgeous too.
Thank you.
So where are you mostly selling everything? Is it online, or are you like setting up at some like shops like
online?
Online. Okay.
Yes.
Do you take specific? Obviously, we've got the Bears gear and we've got Caleb Williams, but we got 4 teams left in the playoff run. If a Matthew Stafford fan were to reach out and say, hey, are you willing?
I got you covered.
You got it? Okay, all right.
I'm actually working on a D-Rose.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, for the retirement game that's on Saturday.
That's amazing. Okay, are you like where do you get? So obviously, you can say I'm gonna do something that is a tribute to this person.
Yeah.
But it's much more than that. You still have to figure out the
design,
layout, the design exactly.
Yeah.
Where does all that come from?
In the bed, on my cell phone.
Really?
Yep. Middle of the night. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night and like
all the
scribble
time.
stuff down?
Yes.
Really?
No, I just do it on my cell phone.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have an app and I just do it on my cell phone about 15, 20 minutes and then I'm done.
Because you never know where inspiration's going to strike.
Yes.
That's so true. When someone has a request, are they giving you the exact details of what kind of style and stuff you want, or are you able to use kind of that creativity to be like, you know what, this person will look good in a sweater, a button-up, or a tie?
So on my website, it has everything listed. If they want like a sweater, or if they want a hoodie, pants, and then I have them send me up to 10 pictures, and I just create the design myself.
So if I want a Gabby Primus suit,
it's really
3-piece, just Gabby's face
everywhere.
All over.
Yeah, I can do that. That's so that special request, you can put that in the note. Yeah.
Jake, people are gonna run away from you.
No, I'm telling you.
They're gonna run away from you.
Put the face.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. So for my husband's birthday, I put my face on a sweater. And
As you should.
Yeah, he had to wear that.
As you should. You know what? That's an idea, Tisa.
For my girlfriend's next birthday, I'm gonna get her a sweater that shows my face.
Your ex-girlfriend?
No, my my girlfriend's next birthday.
Oh, your
next birthday.
Oh,
no, I'm gonna get her a sweater that just has my face.
Too,
and the dogs.
Okay, Tisa, everyone at home, they want to know how they can get in on this, where they can put in orders. Do you have a website for them?
Yes, my website is Tisa with the T, T-I-S-A, W-I-T-H, THET, TEA.com.
Perfect.
Love
and
that.
then you're active on social media, correct?
Yes, I have 237,000 followers and counting.
Whoa! Can I have some?
Yeah.
I need some.
That's just one platform.
Just one platform.
Incredible.
Okay, you have all the details, everyone. You know where you can get your hands on these. Plus, you can help out Tisa as well with her journey with her studio. Well, more information on our website as well. Thank you so much, Tisa.
Thank you for having me. I really
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh,
so much.
what a wonderful story. You're an inspiration to Chicago. Thanks for blessing us with your presence today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be right back after this break.
I slipped a three.
Welcome back. 11:22 Chicago Now. What an amazing interview she was. Wasn't she, Tisa?
Mm-hmm.
Really an inspiration.
Great local talent.
Yeah. You know, I find myself learning a lot just oftentimes by watching this show. Sometimes we have segments based on things that are going on in the world that I didn't even realize were happening. Case in point, our next segment, I did not know this. Organ donations from recently deceased have dropped last year for the first time in over a decade, resulting in fewer kidney transplant. And its new analysis is showing that it could be because of public mistrust in the system. So we are now joined live, Dr. Stephen Flam with Rush University Medical Center. He specializes in transplant hepatology. Is that right, sir?
That is right. Thank you.
Excellent. First of all, I just kind of want to jump into this. Talk about this theory of public mistrust being one of the reasons that we are seeing that decline for the first time in a decade. Why do you think that is?
Well, good morning, first of all.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
You know, organ donation is one of the most important things that a family can do at the most critical time in their lives when a loved one has passed away. And when one organ donor can actually save numerous lives. So organ donation has been a challenge in my world, and I'm a liver transplant physician. That's what hepatology means. And it's been one of the big challenges we've had in the decades that solid organ transplant has really been a thing. So donation is one thing where we in our world really try to encourage families to donate or to agree to donate a loved one's organs when they are an appropriate candidate. We always follow the rates of donation. We're trying to do better. We use different strategies. And one of the things that's happened recently, to your point with your question, is because I think of some public mistrust in the healthcare system, there was, in an article that was recently published, a slight decrease in organ donation for kidneys for the first time in 10 years. So that's a red alarm in the organ transplant world, because we want actually donors to offer more organs, not less.
And so to clarify, it's specifically the kidney donations that are seeing that hit. And is it correct? I'm seeing that overall organ donations are rising. Is that true as well?
Yeah, well, certainly over the last 10 years or so, because of a lot of the strategies we've used in the transplant world, organ donation has been rising for all the organs. Again, I do liver, but kidneys and pancreas and heart and lungs, these are all organs that can be donated by caring families from someone who is an appropriate donor. And they've been rising. But, you know, as with many things in the last few years, there's more public mistrust in some of the institutions in society, one of them the medical field where I work, healthcare. And there have been some issues, we think, that are leading to some hesitancy for people to agree to donate organs, you know, to other people.
You know, Doctor, can we touch a little bit more on some of those hesitancies? You know, maybe is there a big rumor that maybe not everyone in the audience is aware of, you know, that we could answer right away?
Yeah, you know, there have been a lot of challenges just in general over the years. Remember, this is probably the worst time that a family will ever have, when a loved one is about to pass away and they're deemed to be an organ donor. And then the family is the one that has to do the agreement or make the agreement to donate the organs, not the patient who is passing away. So we've really, you know, and family members are sometimes nervous about that. And there have been all kinds of problems. There are social and religious issues that sometimes crop up for people when they want to, or when they're considering agreeing to organ donation. There are racial and ethnic disparities that have been present for years. Where I work at Rush, we've been very sensitive to that, and we've been working very hard to try to eliminate that. But recently, you know, especially with social media, there are, you know, occasional reports where donors are, for instance, still alive when their, you know, organs are trying to be harvested. I'm unaware of that actually happening, but these are the kinds of things that when they get in social media, they breed mistrust, and then donor families are more reluctant to agree to organ donation for their loved one. So we need to try to dispel a lot of those things.
For sure. Doctor, this might seem like an obvious question, but I do think that there is value in it. And you sort of touched on it at the beginning of our interview when you said that, you know, one person, just what they possess alone could save multiple lives. Can you just really emphasize the value of organ donations for someone who maybe is on the fence and they're trying to decide if it's the right thing for them? Can you explain the value of that?
Yeah, the value is untold in terms of its benefit to many, many people. And remember, organ donation is something that can affect all families. And you may be the person that's asked to donate an organ on behalf of a loved one, but members in your family are very likely to be on the receiving end of organ donation from somebody else, because there are literally more than 100,000 people on transplant lists in the United States. Wow. And if they don't get a transplant, they die. When you're on a transplant list, that means there really is no other medical therapy that can help you live for any reasonable amount of time. This includes kidneys for people on dialysis. This includes people in my world who have cirrhosis of the liver, which means a very sick liver, and they're dying. This includes people who have pancreas issues, who have heart failure, who have lung issues like very severe COVID. So all of these people can receive organs from one single donor, different people. And thus one donor can save so many people. You know, Jesse White was one of the previous secretaries of state in Illinois, and he was instrumental in actually getting us to answer a question when we get our driver's license, whether or not we want to be a donor. Things that we don't think about. You know, you're not thinking about being a donor, hopefully, today. But when you get your driver's license, you're forced to think about it because they ask you. And just people having that question addressed to them and checking off, yes, I would like that, has increased organ donation in the state of Illinois fairly dramatically over the years. So that was, for instance, one strategy that's really helped save many people's lives.
You know, this might be a silly question, I guess, but you know, sometimes when I think organ transplant, I think of those great stories that we have often had on the news where it's like, oh, you know, someone unfortunately lost their daughter, and but her heart lives on through organ transplant with another young woman, you know, across the country, and they get to meet up. Does those kind of things still happen, or is it a lot of privacy that goes into organ donation? Because I would think that's another benefit, right? You know, these people who have lost someone get to kind of see it go on, you know, with somebody else.
Absolutely. It's completely 100% private. For donors, some of the donor families don't really want to know who gets their organs. They just want to carry out the wishes of the person who is passing away. But others do. And if a recipient, someone who gets an organ, asks the donor organization that they would like to meet the family of the donor of the organ to them, the organ donation system will secretly, privately approach the donor organ family and ask them if they have any desire to meet the recipient. And if they both say yes, then that kind of a meeting can be arranged. So it's very, very nice on those times. I must say, I've seen some of the recipients that I see, people that were dying and get an organ, and they're living beautiful, fabulous, normal lives. And when the donor family and the recipient want to meet, and they do, it actually brings a tear to your eye to see those meetings. It's as you said, the story it's very touching, and there's a bond there between the two that were, of course, previously strangers, that really is never broken.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very touching.
So, Doctor, I mean, if we're being honest, full disclosure, I am signed up to be an organ donor. And to your point at what you were talking about before, I signed up when I got my driver's license. And I remember checking that box and going, yeah, absolutely, of course. What are some other ways for someone who is thinking about doing this? Can someone make that decision, or maybe find more information to make a better decision for themselves?
Well, there certainly are a lot of resources on organ donation that if somebody's really thinking about it, they can access online. It's very easy if you Google organ donation to find out a lot of good information about organ donation and how it works, and hopefully to dispel some of the myths that we discussed earlier. One thing that's important to remember is even if you put on your driver's license that you're interested in donation, if, God forbid, there is ever a circumstance where you are considered to be a donor, it is actually your family then that gets the final say. They don't have to pay attention to what you wrote on your driver's license. So sometimes it's a good idea. I tell my kids, for instance, I tell my partner that if I'm in such a circumstance that I really want to donate my organs, so it sometimes makes them not feel upset that they might be making a decision that I might not have wanted, or that they're making a decision that would, you know, somehow change my body before I die. So it's good to discuss it with others around you, whoever has your power of attorney, so that they actually carry out your wishes if, God forbid, something like that ever occurs.
Sure.
Well, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us, and I think you make a good point. It's good to talk about all those things, even with finances, with you know, whoever gets your children. It's good to, you know, kind of talk that out. It's awkward because you don't want to think about, you know, death or what might happen down the line, but it is important. Thank you again. We appreciate your time. We'll definitely have you back. It's a complicated subject. It's a touchy subject, but you laid it out very well for us.
Thank you for having me, and have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we'll have much more Chicago Now right after this short break.
People don't talk about
Welcome back to Chicago Now. The West Loop Wedding Walk returns for 6th year and is happening February 2nd. That's a Sunday from 12 to 5. And to learn all about it is Nicole Falls. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I was cracking up because I was teasing this at the top of the show, and Jake was asking me, what's a wedding walk?
What is a wedding walk?
And
I'd never heard that.
I'm like, Jake, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah,
it's a
you
wedding
dummy.
walk.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
And
So
what do
I
you think
thought
it was?
it was people walking while getting married. Like maybe like a 5K.
So cute.
Or something. It's what it said. You said it's what it sounds
You know
like.
what?
That's exactly what it sounds like. A wedding walk?
To give you the benefit of the doubt, but I think like, you know, like a cake walk, you know, that little game where you have the cakes, or like a sip and walk. Or
Definitely
anyways,
wedding 5K.
Let's talk about it. For people who are not familiar with a wedding walk, what is this?
Definitely. So, unfortunately, it is not an actual walk because it is so cold in the Chicago winters.
Good call, by the way. Well done.
But we do have a transportation sponsor, and it's basically an open house style event where 12 different venues and over 200 vendors come and set up these venues like a real wedding day. So instead of taking months to go visit all of these places, they actually get to hop on transportation and walk in between all of these venues and meet and greet and get some inspiration along the way.
Oh my God, that's like a one-stop shop.
It really
is. You know what? I knew about your, because I was planning my wedding last year, and I knew about your wedding walk. I was out of town that weekend, and so I wasn't able to go. But I think that this honestly would have helped me so much because it was so overwhelming to, one, find a venue, and then two, like kind of figure out a price point.
Sure.
Because from my experience, I've been to one other wedding walk, you know, the vendors will be up front with like, hey, here's our minimum, here's this. And so it kind of helps answer some of these questions for newly engaged couples.
It does. It's really great to see the spaces and the vendors in action, and instead of finding things on Pinterest that might not be within price point or style-wise, you can actually see it in the venue that you're maybe getting married or considering getting married, and it's not just a blank empty canvas.
See, that's interesting because obviously Gabby has experience with this. I do not. I have no idea how much a cake should cost or the flowers should cost. And so I think maybe the value of something like this, even if you walk away having not signed up with anybody, is to just get a frame of reference for, oh, this is how much a string quartet is going to cost. This is how much, just to kind of know, okay, yeah, we got to scratch that from the budget, or no, we can have that in the budget. It's nice just to get a frame of reference for these things.
Yeah, it's really great, and there's so many things that exist that maybe you didn't think of. Maybe you want a live band, but that doesn't match your budget item. Why don't you do a band and a saxophone player? That's becoming a really popular item this year. And it's really hard, Gabby, I'm sure as you were planning your wedding, most of these times you're having Zoom calls or phone calls and people are just talking at you and about their service. But it's so different when you can actually experience it, listen to it, feel it, and be in that moment and see it in real life versus just, oh yeah, that makes sense, and there's a $5,000 price tag on it kind of thing, right?
And the comparison of going to something like this is so nice because it's all your answers are questions are answered kind of in one spot, right? All right, you see 5 different florists. Well, you know, these might be my options, and I can pick right then and there which one kind of fits my vibe a little more. And that's part of the purpose, isn't it?
It's definitely part of the purpose. So each vendor works within the venue. We partner them with a planning team, and they all collaborate on different designs, inspiration, and price points. So as you're going from venue to venue, you can really see what's within your budget, what's exciting to you, and be able to do it all in one day instead of taking so much time and effort into the planning process.
The vendors that are going to be there, are they offering deals for people? It's like, hey, while you're here, we'll give you 2 cakes for the price. I don't know how it works, but like, you know, do they offer like special deals
Jake is thinking about the cake.
Like while you're here, like, you know, there's value in coming out to something like this?
There absolutely is. So a lot of vendors do like deals, discounts, or freebies. So as you're meeting them along the walk, we've got contests going, or they're offering special incentives if you book along the way. And last year we actually gave away a free wedding.
What?
Wait, how does one give away? What does that mean?
Yeah, so we just had vendors participate, including the venue, and they signed up for raffles, and we did a big raffle in the morning, and a winner kind of takes all and got to have all of their vendors free.
Wow.
Genius.
Yeah.
Just genius.
So I am going to be best man in my buddy's wedding a little bit later this year.
I love that.
Congratulations.
Is there a booth to help maybe write a speech? Is there anything to help out like the groomsmen, or are the groomsmen pretty much they're okay, they'll be fine?
No, there's definitely vendors on board for that. So we have a lot of officiants and planning partners.
That's cool.
They can help answer all of those questions. And
so even if you're wedding adjacent,
there's
value there.
Absolutely. Maybe you're still looking for a suit or a tux.
Yeah.
You want to come see some options, rental versus buying. It's definitely the spot to go.
That's a good question, Jake. At first I was like, where's this guy going with that? I don't know.
Most of my questions people ask
You know what? You know, I know we're kind of going all over the place, but there's just so much to talk about with one wedding walk, because there's so much that goes into a wedding, and I didn't realize how much food matters. Food and drinks matter at a wedding. You know, like, sure, I just think more like vibes, right? Or like, how's the decor going to look and stuff. It really does matter. That's what people at the end of the day like really care about.
Is that what surprised you on the other side of your wedding?
Yes.
Food is what surprised you?
Yes, and luckily it went really well. But this is also a great spot where you're trying some of these appetizers, you're trying some of these, you know, courses, and getting a feel of what it's going to feel like that day. Because they're also that day making, you know, a wide array or whipping them out, you know, for all the guests.
Yeah, and that I think is what's so fun about the event is as a couple who's getting married, you actually get to experience what your guests might feel, and you get to try the different drinks, the different food options in real time with presentation and, you know, the service of all of it, instead of you're whisked away after ceremony and you get your beautiful platter, but what is it really like when your guests are coming?
Sure.
And food is such a big piece of, you know, Chicago culture. So many couples put that as their top priority of they're getting inspo from their favorite restaurants or want an interactive element for their guests. So this year we've seen a lot of things like big burrata bars or cold bars. Really fun.
You mentioned when we first started talking about, you know, the value of being there versus swiping on, you know, and I know like all the social media apps have, you know, you can get, if you get in the right algorithm, it can just be your timeline, and there is value in physically seeing I mean, it's one thing to look at a photo and heart it and go, I want that thing.
Absolutely.
But seeing it in person might increase those feelings, or it might make you realize, oh crap, no, that's not actually what I want for my wedding. So there is value in getting off of your phone and going to something like this.
100%, because a lot of times the Pinterest and Instagram weddings are amazing and incredible and they inspire us all, but they're in beautiful coastal towns in California with, you know, bright colors.
Sure.
And you're getting married in Chicago in a really unique loft setting, and does that translate well? Or you see it in person and you're like, oh, that filter on that photo is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. So it's a perfect time to come get inspired, take photos, ask questions, and even seeing the production behind it, a lot of people don't think about. Like, maybe you only have your venue rental for a certain amount of time, and can this look be accomplished in that window, or is it going to cost me more to have more people and be on a shortened time frame as well?
You know, it's just taking me back, and it's honestly giving me a little bit. No, it's giving me a little bit of anxiety, let's say, because you know it's a big undertaking, but also I know that you're probably likely going to have people who help plan there as well, and get on board with someone there if that's the route you want to go. Let's talk about budget, though. It always gets away from you. Weddings are expensive, I'll tell you. But, you know, what do you think couples should really focus on with their budget? Maybe it's the top 3 things that maybe people are kind of, you know, putting at the forefront of things.
Absolutely. I would say it's whatever is important to you as a couple. Like, if you're foodies and you want a good food experience, put that as priority. If you want your guests to have a wonderful time and party the night away, focus on the band and the entertainment items of it. But really what it comes down to is you can have a wedding for $2,000 plus, and it's really just what's important to you as a couple and how you can bring those elements into your day so that you remember them being important for now and forever.
And I love, we just saw a photo of what looked like it was called a micro wedding. So it's kind of cool that you guys are, you know, addressing
all across the board.
Weddings that include 10 people or maybe 1,000 people.
Top 3, okay, 2 or 3 wedding trends right now for 2026.
Color drenching everything. Even though the Pantone is the cloud dancer, we're seeing color everywhere, whether that's monochrome or full spectrum palettes of color. That is number 1. We're seeing a lot of guest interactive elements, like cowboys with cannolis on your dance floor or live sketch artists, but just fun things that your guests can actually do and turning it into an experience like what you're seeing on those social media platforms. And then number 3 is the guys and the grooms are now starting to do the outfit changes. So last year it was all about the brides having the different looks. Now we've got different dinner jackets and things for the guys, so they're playing into the attire piece as well.
Okay, interesting.
That's a lot of work.
You have to get in on it. It's a lot of money too, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being a downer with the budget. It's the best day of your life, people. All right, let's talk about one more time where people can find more information about the wedding walk. I know it's happening on Sunday, February 2nd.
Yeah, they can visit us online at thewestloopweddingwalk.com. Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite currently. We're doing a lot of giveaways on Instagram right now, so definitely make sure you're following our social media pages.
One ticket gets you into the whole thing.
One ticket gets you into the whole thing.
Love it.
And then we've got a brunch for VIP access from 11 to 12, which is where the wedding giveaway happened last year. And then we also have an after party hosted by a partner, Blue Water Kings, who's one of our live entertainment bands, immediately following the wedding walk.
Wow, that's a day.
It's a whole day.
Let me tell you, this would have helped me so much, and it's just so upsetting. Okay.
So she's going to redo it. With her and Brendan are going to go back and just start back from the beginning.
Fine, I will get the free wedding.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? You're going to draw my name. Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having
Thanks for breaking everything down for us. I know that we're all over the place.
No, yeah, it's only because we had a lot of, it's a good sign that we had a lot of questions. Sometimes, you know, you'll do a segment out in the air and you'll get halfway through and go, well, that's it.
3 down?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. All right, Nicole Falls,
Thank you.
appreciate it. We'll be right back after this short break.
Ended at work, I'm attorney Chris.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. As we typically do during the week, we need to take some time to talk about some trending topics.
And
right?
this is also really valuable because you ever see kind of a story that's floating around and you never take, you know it's a thing because you keep seeing it over and over again, but you never take the time to actually read it.
Or you hear the speculation that goes on with it, and you're like, you never really hear from the person, and you have all these questions. Well, how are they really feeling? Well, you know what, Brooklyn Beckham, he broke his silence, and he's really actually telling us how he feels. So it was a series of kind of like posts on his Instagram story, and here's what it is.
Brooklyn Beckham is the son of David Beckham and
Victoria Beckham.
Say Victoria Beckham. I was going to say Posh Spice. I know that's that.
Yeah, Posh Spice, exactly. So there's been pretty much what we've been hearing is that there's been some weird family dynamics with the parents and him, and then his now wife, who was his girlfriend at the time. It's been happening for years that he's kind of on the outs, or that he's mad at the parents. Obviously we didn't have a lot of answers. Well, as you saw, kind of on this video that's playing, some of those black screen with all the text on there, it was essentially a message to let people know, hey, this is what's up, at least in his point of view, with the son, Brooklyn Beckham. So he made a series of posts on his Instagram story yesterday, calling out his parents for being controlling and manipulative, saying he's done with them. He says they care more about image than family and have been trying to ruin his relationship with his wife, and they've also claimed his wife controls him. Okay, this is all in his words. Obviously, this is his point of view. He also says his parents also pressured him to sign away the rights to his name before he got married in 2022. So obviously, the parents have a big issue with this now wife.
Sure.
Okay. He accused his mom of bailing on designing Nicola's dress, and that's the name of his wife, weeks before the wedding. Obviously, that's going to hijack the wedding.
Sure.
And also hijacked the first dance at their wedding.
Yes, and so David Beckham was on CNBC this morning and didn't really address this, but did say his kids have made mistakes and they're allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. That is what I try to teach my kids. Just hearing this, right now, obviously we're getting what seems like one side. I'm a big believer that oftentimes, there are multiple sides to different things that are going on, and there's often maybe missing context. And I am also of the belief that oftentimes, everyone's the hero of their own story. And, when you tell your side of the thing, oftentimes you're going to tell the version of your story in which is you in the best light, or your situation or your circumstance in the best light. And I get that, obviously, David and Victoria probably don't want to go out and speak, ill of their son, or maybe add more fuel to the fire. And oftentimes situations like this, if you give it a couple of weeks and don't say anything, it'll blow over. But I do think that there might be, if there is a second side of the story, I do think that there is value in saying, okay, well, here's why I didn't design the dress, or here's why we did X or did Y or did Z. Do you think there is value in that, or you think everyone should just stay quiet?
It's interesting because I kind of am expecting something from the Beckhams, Victoria and David, because if he says what he claims, if they like what he claims, saying that they're all about image and wealth and all this kind of stuff, then obviously they're going to take that very seriously and want to respond back to these posts.
Sure. But so he's saying they're all about image and they're all about wealth. He grew up as their son.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable to assume that he grew up with the benefits of being I don't know who he is, to be honest with you, but did he ever turn his back on the benefits of being the son of David Beckham and Victoria?
Probably not, but I'm pretty sure he's still fairly young. Maybe the peanut gallery can chime in. He's probably in his early 20s.
Early 20s?
I would say so. Maybe early 26. Okay, so he's young.
Sure.
I don't know if he really knew how to make kind of life decisions and go away from the family. What I want to know is, yes, at least a little inkling or more background on why Victoria and David don't like his now wife so much.
Sure.
There has to be some stories. I don't think that, they dislike someone just to dislike someone. Just from first meeting of her being sweet and nice. There has to be something that happened.
I don't know. I just
for
think,
this to escalate.
And I get it. Every situation is different. Every circumstance is different. But, oftentimes, we really only get one set of parents. And,
100%.
And I think, there could have been value in figuring this out without turning into, because now you've got,
everyone knows.
Yeah, everybody knows. Whether you like it or not, it's out there. And I think that would have been a much easier fire to put out without adding, oxygen to it.
Well,
so
he does say that that they cross a line, and he says life without them is much more peaceful, and he's genuinely happy and stress-free. I don't know if it sounds like a rebel child or if he has reasoning behind it. I guess we won't know until we know.
Exactly.
Until something like that is posted
and
again.
This is always one of those situations that you got to be careful, because then you start speculating. You having your own speculations, but I'd imagine he's lived a fairly charmed life, and I hope that they can get it all figured out.
We'll see. Well, I like this. Let's switch gears and talk about this hot take dating trend. So it's starting to take over the dating scene as of 2026. Usually people advise you to avoid touchy topics like politics or religion on those first dates, and this trend throws that all out the window. People are being encouraged actually to be as upfront and as honest as possible about their viewpoints, especially about their most controversial ones. What do you think, Jake?
100%. Absolutely. And I'm of the belief that, let's not waste each other's time.
It's going to work out if it's supposed to work out.
Exactly right. But if you have things about yourself, no matter what the case may be, whether it be religion or politics, or do I want to have children or do I not want to have children, if those are things that are non-negotiables for you, put them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why go out on 5 dates with someone and potentially to develop only to, and then maybe if you like the person enough to make you think you can get over that thing, whatever that thing is, but if you can't get over that thing, let's not waste each other's time. Let's put it all out there. I'm a big believer of why are we tiptoeing around things? Because if the purpose of dating, and granted, people date for different reasons, I think, at different points in their lives, but when you get to that point where you are dating to find your forever person, make sure that why waste time trying to figure out whether they're that forever person? I've always been a believer of having conversations about hey, where do you stand on X? Where do you stand on Y?
Mm-hmm.
Also, it just makes for a more interesting conversation.
Well, and I think some people are more inclined to do that, right?
Sure.
You're the kind of open and honest person that encourages that and wouldn't take anything else. But
sure.
there's some people who are kind of let's just get this done. I want to be with a partner. I want to settle. And I'm not like that either. I'm more like you, where I'm give me all the details,
sure.
the deepest, rawest kind of version. And it's already 48. We only have 10 seconds left.
Oh my God, we had so much.
I'm so sorry.
We got the rap music.
Okay, we will see you on Wednesday. Tuesday's done. Thanks for joining us on Chicago Now.
I'm sorry, I didn't even see us get the rap.
Boom! I got hit.